Good morning to all my dear students. Welcome back to my class. In my previous video, I talked about transitive and intransitive verb, which were the two kinds of main verbs. We learnt that transitive verbs are those verbs which have a direct object, and intransitive verbs are those verbs which either do not have any object at all or has an indirect object. We also talked about the two kinds of transitive verb, which are monotransitive verb that has only one direct object and ditransitive verb which has one direct as well as one indirect object. Then we talked about intransitive verbs, which again have two kinds. One, the verb of action, wherein the intransitive verbs refer to actions, and intransitive verb of being, where we use the verbs that refer to state of being, which are am, is, are, was and were. So these verbs, because they refer to state of being, therefore they are called intransitive verbs of being. Today we will start with another two kinds of verbs called finite verb and non-finite verb. So let's begin. Now students, one very important thing that we all know is verbs are always based on the subject. We all know verbs are those words which show the action or the state of being of the subject. That means verbs are directly related to the subject. Now what is a finite verb? A finite verb is that verb which changes according to the tense, number and person of the subject. You can see over here, I have drawn a structure where I wrote finite verb on the top. I have written subject in the center. Why? Because finite verbs or any kind of verb is always related to the subject, specifically finite verb. So finite verb is related to subject. Now the finite verb will be affected or will change according to the tense, number and person. Tense, we all know, are of three kinds, which are present, past and future, which are further divided into their subkinds, but we will not go to that much right now. Then we know numbers are of two kinds, which are singular and plural. And then we know that persons are of three kinds, which are first person, second person and third person. So this is what we all have already learned in our previous classes, that tense is of three kinds, present, past and future. Number is of two kinds, singular and plural, and person is of three kinds, first person, second person and third person. Now finite verb always changes according to these three things, or on this three, tense, number and person. Now let's see one by one how they change according to the tense, number and person. We will take one topic at a time. So we shall first begin with the tense. Now students, you see, I have first started with how the finite verb changes according to tense. I have written a sentence, I dance regularly, and then I wrote another sentence, I danced last week. So here I have written two sentences. The first sentence I wrote in simple present tense. the second sentence I have written in simple past tense. Now if you notice, you will see that in the first sentence, because it is in simple present tense, I have written dance over here. I dance regularly, an activity which I am doing daily. So I am talking about the present. I dance regularly. In my second sentence, I wrote I danced last week. So according to the change of time, what we observe is that the verb has changed. Here I haven't written dance, or here I haven't written dance. So the verb changes. So this is finite verb which changes according to the change of tense. Every time the tense changes, the verb also changes according to it. Now we will see how the verb changes according to number. Now coming to number, we know that numbers are of two kinds. One is singular and the other one is plural. Singular means one and plural means more than one. Here also I have written two sentences which are quite similar to the examples I have given you for text. So the first sentence I wrote is Rita dances regularly, and the second sentence I gave you is the girls dance regularly. Now you can see, as I have already said you, that the verb is always related to the subject. The subject in the first sentence is Rita, and the subject in the second sentence is the girls. Rita is obviously one girl, which means singular, isn't it? So since Rita is one girl, so it is singular. And the girls means this more than one girl, which means that it is plural. So when we have the singular subject, then we added an S to the verb, because in third person singular number we always use an S. So that I should come when I come to discuss about the change of verb in case of person. Right now, because Rita is singular, therefore I wrote dances. But when I wrote the girls, which is plural, then what I did, I wrote dance. Again, we see that the verb in each of this case changed. In the first case, because Rita is singular, I have put an S over here. But in the second case, because girls is plural, I haven't put any S. So this is how we see that the finite verb changes according to number of the subject. So when the subject is singular, we write a different verb, and when it is plural, then again we write a different verb. Now let's see how the verb changes according to person. So now you can see, students, we are going to talk about person. So person is of three kinds. First person, the one who speaks. Second person, the one to whom the first person speaks. And the third person, the one about whom the first person speaks. Under first person, we have the pronouns I and we. Under second person, we have the pronoun you. And under third person, we have the pronoun he, she, it and they. We also have any singular or plural nouns under the third person. But in first and second person, we always use I, we and you respectively. In case of third person, he, she, it, they are the pronouns. Other than that, any noun that we talk about are under third person. Now let's come to how person influences the finite verb. You can see I have written 4 sentences over here. Now what are those 4 sentences? First sentence I wrote I/we. That means whether I use I or I use we, in both the cases my verb will be same or the sentence structure will be same. So I or we play cricket. I play cricket, we play cricket. So play is my finite verb. In my third sentence, I wrote he oblique she. That is, either you write he or you write she. It will always be plays cricket. And then again, when I write they, it is they play cricket. So here I have used first person, singular and plural. Here I have used second person. Second person doesn't have any singular plural because it is you. You don't have any plural. Then I have written he, she and they, which are third person. So we now see a change. When I write I or we use the verb play. Again, when I am using you, then also I am using the verb as play. But when I am writing he or she, when I am using third person singular, then I am using an S with the verb. With this verb, I am using an S. But again, when I am using third person plural, then I don't need to use any S with the verb. So we can see that with the change of person, the verb also changes. So this is how the person influences the finite verb. So my dear students, we have learned how a finite verb changes. So what is a finite verb? I shall repeat the definition once more. The verb which changes according to tense, number and person is called a finite verb. In the second part of this video, that is in my next class, I shall explain you about non-finite verbs. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.